I would set my mind not to buy a fragrance and I would buy it in an instant. I would get excited for a moment and then disappointment. Why did I buy it? I was feeling like I did something bad, and then when I got the actual package, instead of feeling that excitement for more than 2 seconds, it was such a big letdown. My BFF, hello, thank you so much for stopping by. It's my birthday and I took you together with me in my hiking, and instead of doing the usual perfume haul where I show you the 20 fragrances that I bought, I will do the opposite. Let's see if I can find a beautiful place for us to chat about fragrance addiction, how to stop my story and everything. I'm holding this mic like this, like I said the influencer are doing, because it's very windy and I want the sound quality to be top. I'm not an influencer. I have my AirPods because I was listening to some inspiring music. I started 2 years ago. That was my original video. That was the top of my fragrance addiction. I love fragrances once again, but I'm no longer buying fragrances to escape, but I'm buying because I love them and I wear them and they empower me. I enjoy the process and I enjoy discovering new scents. If you are happy with your fragrance spending, don't look at this video. It might trigger you. I have been sad. I always get sad whenever I have a birthday. I don't know if especially a big birthday, but in general this one, since it's a big deal. I'm turning 40. I actually wanted to be older all my life. I was the little one in my family. I have an older brother and an older sister, and I always wanted to grow up to be equal to them, and it took me many years to realize that I will never be the same age as them. I will always be the little one. I remember vividly that day when I was outside with all the kids in my block, and they said, everyone that is going to school, we are going to the cinema. And I was 6 years old, and only at 7 years old you are going to school, and I could not wait to go to school. I wanted to go to school. I don't know why. I get very nostalgic and I start thinking about all the things that have happened in my life or that I wish. It's something that I cannot explain. I just have this birthday nostalgia. If you feel it too, let me know in the comments. Fragrance addiction. 2 years ago I made a video that was the most popular on my channel, where I said that I quit buying fragrances. I made that video at the top of my fragrance addiction when I thought I couldn't handle it anymore. And how it all started, I loved fragrances from when I was little, and we had some little ones from the market. My mother used to have a spray with green apple. That was the most amazing scent. In high school I was able to afford fragrances from Avon. Avon Little Black Dress. My sister was an Avon coordinator. And then when I got a job, for many years I was able to afford one single fragrance, and that was my signature scent. And I remember the first signature scent that I had, a designer, was Amor Amor by Cacharel. Then I also had several from Givenchy. I had Chanel Chance. That was the top. That's when I said I made it, and I remember exactly that I wore it in my vacation in Barcelona. A beautiful fragrance. Life made it possible for me to move from the east of Romania, where I was born, to Bucharest, the capital, for my university studies. And I made a career there. For 10 years I lived in Bucharest, and then I moved to Switzerland for love with my boyfriend. I started again from zero, build a career here. And what happened was that I started gaining a lot of money. For me it was like, here I'm just an average girl. And what I did, I listened to my internal thermostat, which was used to a certain level of money in my bank account, which is zero. So I spent it all, and I discovered this fragrance obsession. And if you know the prices of niche fragrances, you can easily spend everything you have on niche fragrances. That is not to say that fragrances are bad. No, not at all. 2 years ago, I was very upset because I had the midlife crisis, I think, and I woke up to the reality that life, although I achieved everything that I set my mind to, I was not happy. I had a career, I had a great relationship, everything that I ever wished for, and I wasn't happy. I started using fragrances as an escape to fill a void that I was feeling deep inside. And I projected my consciousness, all my frustration, my unhappiness onto fragrances. So from that high, that's how fragrance addiction starts. You get very excited, you love collecting, you buy left and right. And then after a while, you wake up and you have a closet full of fragrances that you don't wear. You are overwhelmed and you realize this isn't bringing me real happiness either. And I got so upset on fragrances that I said, no, stop. This is the second stage of fragrance addiction, all or nothing. And I wanted to sell most of them and I wanted to stop buying. I also felt bad when I was seeing comments on my videos. I wish I would get that fragrance. I felt like I was encouraging consumerism. So I went from one extreme to another extreme. When life is never like that, it's not black and white. It's somewhere in the middle. The third stage is this awakening and realizing fragrances are neither good or bad. Fragrances only have the meaning we give them. At the end of the day, what matters is who is buying. Are you buying from a place of joy, of happiness? Are you intentionally getting that fragrance, or are you using it to escape something from your life? So I am in this stage. I have been buying some fragrances. I started this series with one in, one out. Whenever a fragrance joins, another fragrance leaves. Lately, more fragrances have joined. Probably I will do a single video where I will show you all the fragrances that joined my collection. All of them are good. So if you buy a fragrance, do not blame yourself. That's what I used to do. I would set my mind not to buy a fragrance and I would buy it in an instant. I would get excited for a moment and then disappointment. Why did I buy it? I was feeling like I did something bad, and then when I got the actual package, instead of feeling that excitement for more than 2 seconds, it was such a big letdown. If you get a fragrance, enjoy it. How lucky are we? I mentioned it in my previous video. In winter, during the New Year's Eve, I really wanted to try out Louis Vuitton Stellar Times. And I managed to get a dupe, which is against my principles, but it was the only way for me to try it out. Also very expensive, so that's why I'm not even wanting to buy a full bottle of that dupe. And I said that it's very nice. Considering the price, I was evaluating if I will get it for my 40th birthday. In the meantime, I managed to get a sample of the real Louis Vuitton Stellar Times. Let me spray it once again. I get citruses, amber, some tutti frutti juice, like fruits floating in a gold liquid. That's what I get. Gold sparkles surrounding me. It is beautiful. However, I get the same from my Xerjoff L. It is that type of fragrance. It rarely happens when I spray it. It gets up into my nostrils and I can almost taste it. The disclosed notes are orange blossom, amber, and Peru balsam. Very nice. However, for the price, it reminds me in the dry down of Xerjoff L. So I was considering selling that, doing all kinds of calculation, but now that I got the original sample, it's not worth it for me. I don't need a full bottle. I have this sew method. Whenever I want to get a new fragrance, I will put it to my sew test. Is it really special, or do I already have something similar? E stands for emotion. Does it spark an emotion? Does it tell a story? Does it bring up a memory? And W stands for when. Can I see a time when I would wear it in my life? This one, I'm not sure it's special enough. I have that Serge of L. The price makes a big difference, and also after I put them to my sew test, I leave a cool-off period of 1-2 weeks. During my cool-off period, I realized that I don't need it. I enjoy searching for the one, the most special fragrance in the universe. And you know what? I was thinking, let's sell most of my fragrances and stick to Louis Vuitton Stellar Times. I can refill it. It is a beautiful fragrance. But no, I don't want that. I like the variety of choice, and I have my fragrances organized by shelves, by empowering moods or state of minds. I have confidence, I have playfulness, I have calm, cozy, I have my feminine fragrances. So I wouldn't feel like myself, because all of us, we are so complex. We are more than just one adjective. I like the variety of choice. I'm not collecting fragrances just for the sake of collecting. I want my fragrances to be like an extension of my personality, and I actually want to wear them. That's why I have the W in the test. I want to have meaning behind fragrances, and I love fragrances. Once again, I love them as a work of art, as the story, as the emotion they bring up in me. We don't actually need the fragrances. They are like a light switch that we can use to turn on the light. But actually, we are the source. We are the sun. We don't need them. I still have that craving, that desire to buy fragrances whenever I feel overwhelmed or I am experiencing an emotion that I don't really want to. If you would like to stop impulsively buying fragrances, I will recap the tips that I shared before. Unsubscribe from newsletters. You can also stop following the trends, the news. It's like when you are trying to cut on sugar. You don't leave all your dessert and your sweets on the kitchen table. You just make it more difficult to reach. Oh, I got an eye twitch. What else did I do to stop impulsively buying? I order samples, test as much as I can, but that can also be a rabbit hole, and I have boxes of samples. I keep track of all the fragrances that I have, used to have, and the ones that I wish, my wish list on Fragrantica. I have 300 fragrances still there, but I like to see all the fragrances that I wish to have, and I apply my sew test. I think that's the one that helped me most. And then once a fragrance has failed my sew test, it's out of my mind. For some reason, it truly works. But the most important technique, and the one that really goes to the root cause, because all of these with the newsletter is like we are looking at the effects, not at the cause. And for me, I used to buy fragrances to escape an emotion that I didn't want to feel. And 2 years ago, I shared my LED technique, how to feel emotions. In the meantime, I have done my self-exploration and all my healing work. Not all of it, because it's never over. I reached the conclusion that none of our emotions are bad. And what hurts most is not the emotion itself, is our resistance to it. I am still meditating. I will forever recommend meditating. It will completely change your life, and becoming aware of what is happening with yourself, becoming aware of your thoughts, your emotions, your body. But what I want to say here regarding our emotions is that instead of resisting, welcome that emotion. All our emotions want to be integrated, and if you cannot welcome the emotion, welcome the resistance. So, for example, if I notice that I am getting a little sad, I will sit with that feeling and identify it in my body. I usually feel it in my chest. I will ask myself, what color is it? What size? Is it the size of an apple, a grapefruit? What texture? What color? And then try to look at it from different perspectives. From the left, from the right. Try to look at it as if I'm sitting under it. Try to go right in the center of it and try to analyze it like a kid with wonder. If that emotion has a wisdom, what would it say to you? Also, try to react to the emotion in different ways. If you are trying to push it away, what happens? Or if you are trying to tickle it, what happens? If you are welcoming it completely, if you are saying to it, thank you for visiting me and I cannot wait to see you again, what happens? I was always searching for the one. You know what? Fragrances are not bad or good. Nothing in this life has any meaning other than the meaning we give it. Talking about the one, I want to share with you a story that will be today's wisdom. It's about a deer, the musk deer. One day he smelled something incredible, heavenly, and he could not stop thinking about it. And he started searching for it left and right, under each tree, in the forest, up in the hills, in the mountains. All his life he was obsessed with finding that special heavenly scent. He searched, and he got very old, and one day he said he will look for it in the valley, and he jumped and he got stuck in a tree, and the branch penetrated his abdomen, and then he took a whiff and he realized that scent was coming from him. I climbed half an hour to get to this amazing view. How wonderful is this? I live somewhere in the valley. This is what I live for. I wish one day to have an apartment with a view to the Swiss Alps. Rented, of course. Just want simple things. Just a nice view. Whenever I look at this, I feel free. But I get the same feeling whenever I watch beautiful landscapes on YouTube also.